The enhanced learning model from a kind of a 10,000 foot view is providing a foundation of that course content access to schools and teachers that are looking at redefining the way that students access information and engage with the course content.
Essentially what we wanted to do over a period of time is we looked at how do we have our small rural high schools, or really all of our high schools, have access to high expert content, very strong, great programming, even in a rural setting where you may not be able to have all that content experts. They may have a small population and not be able to have the finances to be able to hire those people. How do we bring that content in? What we looked at is we need the right teachers. We need right teachers to build that content.
The structure that we've created has taken time out of the way. And we're really trying to focus on that mastery piece and that completion of the objective rather than, okay, we have this much time to get it done. And there are some kids that can be done in 2 months on a course, and there are some kids that need the full year. And there are some kids that can't even be done in a year. They need to continue into the next year. So this framework allows us to do that. We've kind of said to our students that are in our trades kind of math and science, if you have 3 years to get through your 2 years of kind of material. But then there are some in that group that go, no, I'm gonna get it done in 1 year. And so they'll get it done in 1 year. Time shouldn't get in the way of their learning.
So we had some of our learning coaches within division work with them. We had Hapara work with them to gain the skills, the technical skills to do that. Once we knew the technical skills were there, even though these are masters of their own content, it was in a more traditional setting. They had some online experience, but this is a different facilitated model. We had to talk about what learning looks like. And one of the big pieces that we had to do was to literally do an intensive course mapping process. And what that is start to finish, what are the key critical outcomes that need to be covered? What does mastery of that look like? And then working backwards to chunk that content to put it into an online space so that that is going to be manageable from the students.
I'm used to teaching 3 subjects, and then I come here to Bentley and now I'm teaching 8 first semester. So it's been really challenging being able to provide all of my students with really good lessons where they are getting the content material and I still feel that I'm providing them with all the course outcomes and getting through it in time.
We know we need a place to house this content. We need an interface for kids and teachers to be able to work with these courses. We settled upon Hapara because we had been using their products for quite some time. We're quite a large teacher dashboard user. And then when Workspaces came along, we saw the natural fit there for being the warehouse, being the interface, being the one standardized platform that we build our enhanced learning model courses around.
With the enhanced learning model, teachers have really had to work together. So when a teacher is implementing a workspace, a new course, they're able to reach out to the teacher that built that course and just ask questions and talk about ways that they can improve it, talk about things that aren't quite working and how they might tweak it a little bit. They can work together even throughout the school in making sure that they understand how to use the tool well, so they have to really collaborate on that. And the time that students are working in each course as well, they have to collaborate a lot on scheduling and make sure that the students have the time that they need to work through the courses that they are taking.
It's changed a lot. It's, for one thing, everything has to be ready up front. So I have to have kind of all the pieces going before I start. And then even just my job as a teacher has completely changed. I'm no longer the person that has all the information I'm giving to you. I'm the facilitator of information. I'm the one who's just helping you through it. It was tough to get used to at first, but it's whatever is good for the students, right? That's the thing that really matters, and I see it being good for students. So I find differentiating really easy with the Hapara system because they have the ability to add groups into it, and with those groups you can allow a student to only see certain material or other material that you like. So depending on what the student needs, it really meets them where they're at. So you can put extra material for that lesson for the individual student or whatever they need. So it's really been great in that aspect.
Some of the examples of the pre and post support that we provided to the teachers for the enhanced learning model, even prior to the development work happening with the content developers, we brought those teachers together to understand the vision. And then once we had the courses built, we brought the teachers who would be facilitating the enhanced learning model courses through Hapara workspaces together with those content developers very early in the school year. So still before students were in the building, kind of in late August, we had a meeting, and each one of the teachers who was going to be teaching a course got to sit down with a content developer and walk through, this is what I was thinking, this is the flow, this is where the supplementary materials are and how they fit into the course, where you should maybe consider using them, things like that. So that was done very early. And so we hired 10 people, and over the course of the summer, so within 6 to 7 weeks, we would have regular check-ins with them, either face-to-face or through Google Hangouts, and we would be working with them around the process of developing these academic courses. Your personality as a content developer has to come through in your courses, but you aren't there. So how do you provide the clarity around expectations? How do you provide the clarity around the instructions for your assignments, etc.? And so there was a lot of pre-work done with those teachers and ongoing work during the development phase to really have them understand how to build an effective online course, still knowing that there will be a face-to-face teacher there to help facilitate it. So never was there an intention to have the courses replace teachers. We still need them. They are fundamental components of this enhanced learning model.
Because education is changing in from a direct teacher standing and lecturing and being that keeper of the sacred knowledge, and more of a facilitated type model where the content is there for students to explore and taking time out of that factor. Also, we have a different type of learner that we're dealing with that needs to access content, whether it's at home, whether it's on the bus to a tournament, whether it's at lunch. In the modern society that we're looking at and the access to content, we wanted to leverage those technology tools to do that.
We held a number of open houses early on. We sent out lots of memos and communications along our 1.5-year journey. We took parents to visit other schools. We took our school council to come with us. We took students with us when we went and visited other schools. And so we wanted to take them and get their feedback about, okay, what did they see they liked? What did they see they didn't like? What did they think might work? What might not work? And so then we took their feedback and then we tried to encompass it, and ultimately it had to come down to somebody making that decision. And so the structure piece came down to myself and our admin team saying, okay, this is what it needs to look like.
I guess one thing that's been really nice actually is just a common platform amongst all the courses, because the kids at our school now know what a workspace is, they know how it looks, they know how it works.
It's difficult because I think that for teachers, we often want to teach how we were taught. And I'm used to teaching, like I was taught using a traditional method. So when I first started teaching, that's kind of automatically how I want, that's how I just wanted to teach. But this really forces you to reflect on the needs of our students today and how they need to learn. And I don't think that the traditional method is engaging students anymore, that they need something more.